Right, Mr. Brad Rea, this is our first car interview, mate.
Off, mate. Carpool karaoke.
But we've just been to the gym with Mr. Hatton. Getting a little masterclass from the man. Enjoy it here still.
Good start to the week, mate. Good start. It's tough though.
Yeah?
Still feeling it. Still feeling it from last week, you know what I mean? I had a hard week last week, sparred.
Obviously I seen you sparring Mark Jeffers last time.
Yeah.
You were preparing because he went out and had a good performance.
Yeah.
On the fight zone, didn't he?
Had a good win, mate, but I've been getting some top rounding, you know. I sparred 16 rounds last week.
Go on then, who was it then?
So we've had Kieran Malloy over, Irish lad.
Right. Is that the kid who was there today?
Yeah.
Right.
Good kid, mate, very good kid. Irish international. I've done a few rounds with him last week and then I mixed a few up with him and Wickham.
Oh, Wickham King?
Yeah, so
from Moston Colliers. Oh, he's not there now, he's
Paulie.
Yeah, with Paulie De Silva, isn't he?
So I finished the week, it's Friday with 10 rounds. So you know how it is, mate. I'm still feeling it a little bit, but grinded another 10 rounds out this morning. Good session in, and yeah, well, we've got 6 weeks or something.
I was going to say, I presume it makes it a little bit easier now because you've got a date. You know, when I last spoke to you was when you were sparring Mark Jeffers, but we couldn't really announce what I got announced last week, which is that you signed with Sky and you're one of their fighters now, aren't you?
Yeah. So we're out 16th of October in Newcastle. Good bill, mate. Got like Hughie Fury, Lewis Ritson, Savannah Marshall, a few others. So
in fact, I just mentioned it before, there's a kid who's making his debut on that night called
Mark Dickinson.
And I remember one of the first interviews I did with you, it was you and Akeem Fiaz. You both got to I think it was the pre-quarters, was it?
Both won the Northwest, didn't we? And we're going on to the pre-quarters, yeah.
And you went and fought him, and Akeem fought his brother.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The top kid, Mark, been on the GB setup for years now.
Yeah.
And obviously...
So will he be the same age as you then? Will he be about 23 then?
Yeah, I think he's same school. Yeah, well, boxing championship, so it must be, yeah. But, yeah, good kid, mate. Very good kid.
So how do you feel about that then? I mean, isn't it every fighter's dream to be on a platform that you've just signed for?
Yeah, exactly, mate. You know, it's I'm in. I was having a little think the other day. You know, when it all got announced and my phone was going off mad, and I was replying to everyone, and then I kind of like put my phone down. You know, in the evening, I kind of just chilled out a bit, and I thought, you know, when I was a kid, and you know, in school, someone would have asked me about what I do when I grow up. Like, this is it. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm literally living the dream.
Well, I mean, it is because just first off, what we mentioned before, you're in your idol's gym, Ricky Hatton, and he's one of your coaches.
Yeah.
I know Blaine's your main coach, and he's the man who's been working with you for the last, probably nearly 4 years now, because you worked for your last year
probably
as an amateur
probably
with you.
5, so I was with you about 2 years while I was an amateur.
Right.
A little bit on and off and here and there, but you know, probably pushing 5 years I've been working with Blaine now. And then obviously, you know, I'm in Ricky's gym, we've got Ricky as part of the team, and got a good setup around me. I've got a good team now. I feel like I've got a solid team who, you know, the right team to take me where I want to go. You know,
you're now at a stage of your career where every percentage that you can get out of yourself is a massive percentage. You know, so what about nutrition and strength and conditioning? I mean, you've done most of your strength and conditioning in-house, haven't you? Blaine's sorted most of that.
Blaine does all my strength and conditioning. But I tell you now, mate, it's not just like, I don't know what he's doing, and it's bang on. We have a program we follow. And you know, it's probably very similar to a lot of the lads when they go out to these special strength conditioning coaches.
Yeah.
And it's just nice that he knows what I'm doing, when I'm sparring, everything's going through it.
They work hand in hand, because it's no good doing a massive strength and conditioning day if you've got sparring the next morning.
Exactly, mate, exactly. So everything goes through Blaine, and yeah, it just helps us plan the week a little bit. You know, I quite like quite like to be structured, me, and know what I'm doing from Monday to Saturday, and playing's the same. So yeah, it's perfect. And I've, like you said about nutrition, mate. So I've for my last fight, started working with Pete Bell, who's top nutritionist, mate. Works with a lot of fighters now. Does a keep. Works with a few others like Joe Laws and Lee McGregor.
Yeah.
Some good fighters, mate, and it's really opened my eyes to kind of what and when I'm putting stuff in my body and why.
You've always been pretty good at that, though, haven't you? You know what I mean?
I have, mate, and he said that when we started out, like,
But what's the one major thing that you've learned in the last few months since doing this that you thought, God, I wish I would have known that before?
I probably feel like I'm eating more, like I'm less hungry when I do it because of the planning. It's small and often, and the right foods when
that's why I would have liked to have done it.
Yeah.
I never did do it.
Yeah.
But small and often. But there's all this intermittent fasting now that goes on. A lot of people believe, the fasting part where you don't eat certain times of the day and this and that. But for me, I think little and often is the best way.
It is, mate, and it's the right. Like if I'm training later and I need to have a snack, I won't just have what's on hand. I'll make sure it's got what I need. Whether it's the carbs and the proteins or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm actually thinking about what.
So what you put in your body also replicates what you're going to be doing to your body later on. So if it's a hard session or a long session or a jump,
exactly, mate.
you put fast food in that you need.
Like we said before, that some days are harder than others.
Yeah.
On the harder days, I eat a lot more, and I eat a lot more carbs. Or the night before, I'll have an extra so many grams of carbs and stuff. And I feel like I'm eating a lot more, and I'm more full.
How long have you been on this sort of like thing with what's the name, Pete?
Yeah, so brought him in for the last fight against Cutler because I just felt it was the right time. It was, probably the most important fight of my career.
Well, it was, because it's just got you to where you are now.
Exactly, and then it was they asked for middleweight limit 11.6, which is a bit unheard of, really. On just not a title fight or anything. But we thought, well, we're fighting at the weight, we've got to do it, and absolutely pissed the weight. Had breakfast and still weighed in a pound under. And just felt really strong on the night. Give us a rehydration strategy that we did, and I just felt mate. And I feel now. I think, how did they ever do it without the help of like the likes of Pete or knowing what I'm doing? And
when you first moved up to middleweight, you was never really a middleweight up until I think probably like say your last fight. Is there still room for that growing, or do you feel now that you can't really afford to put any more muscle mass on? Because you can see on your shoulders, you've transformed from this skinny kid that I've known for years into, a solid.
I'm a beast now.
A beast, mate. A ginger beast.
Yeah, man, I don't know. People keep saying that I'm still filling out a little bit. When I see someone I'm not seeing in a while, I've got bigger again, or like you say, I was just a little skinny ginger kid, mate. But I think I am. I'm bigger than weight anyway, aren't I?
Oh, there's one camera. Can we put that back on?
I'll put it back on.
Let's see if you can there. You got to unclip that off there.
You hear me now?
Pull that down.
What? No, not.
That down there. Pull that down. Put it up on there. And push that up. You could be a cameraman, you mate. You're
yes.
So get
we're on it.
I think we're on
We're back in the game.
So where we're up to then, I can't remember. What were we?
Fuck knows, mate. Yeah, mate, I think I'm a fully fledged middleweight now. I think.
Let's get back to this fight. You're going to Newcastle, so we're going to start touring you around the country.
Yeah,
more people.
My Pitbull, mate, Mr. Worldwide, you're going to call me.
Oh, that's your fault again. Wet it. Come on,
lick it.
Wet it, yeah, a little bit.
Show us them teeth again, mate. Go on. Haha, yes!
See, I just brightened up the whole room, that, didn't it?
Ah, fuck. Just trapped my finger.
Right, we're back on. We're back on again, mate. Yeah, so we're going
keep
back
that
to
in,
this.
mate. We'll keep that in and keep it natural.
Well, we've got a good camera here, so we're filming that while we're messing up.
That's my good side, that as well.
But you're now going to Newcastle. You're going to start touring you around. Hopefully, a lot more people are going to know who I feel that we know already. Brad Rea, the kid that doesn't fight like we expect you to.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, do you?
No, I don't, mate. And I think that last fight was a little bit like, you know, a lot of people who didn't know who I am kind of surprised. What the hell is this kid? And you know, everyone, a lot of the Mank lads or the VIP lads were saying
we've been told you about, yeah.
I mean?
Well, everyone was saying
we're not surprised. You know what I mean? But yeah, mate, and hopefully I think for that reason the people are going to start sitting up and taking notice. And yeah, I'm excited, mate, just to kind of getting out to that new audience.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I think this could be brilliant, like I say, touring around on a great undercard there. Any idea of an opponent? Has something been put towards you?
I've been on to Steve this morning. I texted Steve this morning, but you know, mate, I don't want to take a backward step now. I feel like I'm at that level where I'm in with good lads, and
would you like you know, a foreign opponent with a good record, or would you prefer someone who's in that, you know, I think your rank numbers on BoxRec, your number 13. Would you like someone in that top 20?
Yeah,
you know, place either just above you or just below you?
Yeah,
to edge into that top 10.
Have another domestic lad, mate, and you know, I don't know, mate, I think it's a little bit more exciting, and I've spoke about how the way I vision my career is kind of going that old school route, and you know, winning the English, winning the British, winning the Commonwealth, and going that, you know, step by step.
Who's English? Is that Euphis thing? Is he the English champion?
So Dolphy is vacated, and
so is it vacant then now?
River Wilson Ben against Tyler. So we got ordered River Wilson Ben against Nathan Heaney.
Right.
I think Heaney swerved it, and Tyler Denny's going to step in.
Right.
So it's Wilson Ben against Tyler Denny, which will be a good fight.
Actually, I think Steve Lillis has just sent me a video, an interview that he's done with River Wilson Ben. I don't know too much about him. He's fighting on the same show as your mate Brent McGinty, isn't he?
Yeah.
Channel 5.
He's a good fighter, Ben, mate. He's a really good fighter, solid fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the ones in the division. There's a small handful there, which I think, like, these are the ones that are...
You think he could be a future opponent, but for a title and not just for a building fight?
Definitely, mate. And you know me, I'll back myself against anyone, but I know I'll have to be on my A game to beat the likes of Ben and, you know, the likes of these other lads. Definitely.
And now we're on our way to one of your sponsors, who's a friend of mine, Darren.
Yeah, so we're going down to Whitefield, is it?
Yeah, we're not too far away from it.
Yeah, to see Darren and the lads at Cryo Lab. You know, I'm down at seeing Darren all the time. He keeps me tip top fighting condition.
Explain, because I think you're going to try and drag me into this, aren't you? But explain what we're going to do and how it helps you and how it benefits you.
Yeah, so it's cryotherapy. So they have a chamber and they have the localised, which will kind of be like, get it on your hands and stuff, the localised, like a handheld one.
Well, you're just going for the all-over treatment, you're going in the chamber today.
Yeah, and it's just similar to kind of your ice baths or your cold showers, but for me it's a lot, you feel better anyway when you come out of it. It's a lot less bearable.
Yeah.
Ice baths are horrible.
And it's also a long process having an ice bath.
Exactly.
An ice bath is actually, from start to finish, can last up to a half an hour, can't it?
Yeah, with the cryotherapy, you're in the full body chamber for 3 minutes, I think it is.
Yeah.
And you go in and you come out and
you can you slip the clothes off, slip them back on. So all within the space of 4.5 minutes, you're done and dusted.
Yeah, and it really is, mate. You feel great when you come out of it, and it's a massive part of my camps.
Is this perfect for you? Because you just said to me before that you're feeling a little bit tired because you had a hard session last week. You know, all week was hard. Is this nice for you? Because this is the first week of new camp, and is this going to refresh you and revitalise you for the next coming few days?
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's like a breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? It's like a kick up the arse and you're ready to go again.
And how many times would you fit this type of treatment into a camp?
It depends, mate. Ideally, I do quite a mix of recovery stuff, so between me sports massages and then my cryotherapy chambers and my mobility and my yoga and stuff, I'll probably split it up, but every other week or every week or so, you know, I'll be down to see Darren. Maybe sometimes I'll do a sports massage the next week and I'll do cryotherapy.
Right.
Just depends how I'm feeling, mate.
So it's something that you try and fit in at maybe at least once, maybe twice a week.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. If you can, I'll come in every day if I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it has me feeling fresh, mate, and you can't beat it. Like you said, them ice baths are a little bit unbearable, and you don't really look forward to them, do you? But you know, with the chambers, you're in and out. And
well, I was going to ask you what it feels like, but if I'm going to go in there, then I'll be able to know that.
What it feels like, and
I'm not looking forward to it. But yeah, why not?
In the end now.
Yeah, you don't
Oh,
need it.
my elbow's got that. Woo!
When you put in this robe on now, be really careful that you don't touch the sides. Otherwise you'll get a frostbite.
Can I not just put it on outside?
Yeah, if you really want to.
Yeah, put it on outside.
Let's see your big belly now. Yes!
Hey, give the viewers a treat. Oh, that's cold, that.
My fingers were yellow there.
How was that, mate?
If you was to plan your career from start to where you are now, I don't think there would have been too many changes, would there?
Apart from COVID.
Well, yeah, all right, but I mean, but even so, that gave you the chance to what we was talking about before, for you to grow into being this fully solid middleweight. I mean, that's what I noticed most on you.
It was very, very beneficial to me, mate, and like I said, I knew when I turned pro that I'd be fighting on the small hall circuits, and I was going to have to cut the hard way in the first few years. The first few years would be difficult, but I was confident I'd get to the position that I'm in now. And you know, I'm 10-0 now, you know, not lost a round yet.
Not doing too bad, are you, mate?
Not doing bad, mate, and you know, happy where I am, but for me this is just getting started now. This was the easy bit, getting to this point. Now it's time to get in them big fights, get some rounds under the belt.
What was the biggest change for you? You know, you've always worked hard, even when you was an amateur and all that. But then you had those first few fights, and I think I remember you saying to me you had 3 in quite a quick succession from when you first turned over, and you said you wanted to see a change. I remember Blaine saying it to your coach. He was saying, like, now this is where we move it up a gear. What was that change? What did you have to do?
I don't think it was anything I had to do. I think it was just over time, and it was kind of me filling out and adjusting a little bit, getting that little bit stronger, hitting that little bit harder, and it was just, we knew it had come, but we just had to be patient with it. And I think after then, you know, when I first went to Steve, I said I'd been inactive as an amateur, struggling to get fights, and he gave me 3 fights from September to December, so if everything went to plan, I'd be 3-0 by the end of the year. And then they had a few weeks off because they'd been busy over Christmas, and I think when I come back after that is when I first started, you know, feeling changes, and you know, I was feeling I was hitting harder, and I was adjusting to the styles a little bit better.
Well, now that's another thing you just talked about there. You know, you never used to switch as an amateur, right? You was always orthodox. And then I watched the spar with you and Mark, and there was a point in that fight where I think you stayed in the southpaw stance for about 3 rounds and was having quite good success in that. And then I've just been watching you today on the bag, And it seems like, genuinely, I don't know what the better stance is for you. It's not like you just switch willy-nilly, where you'll go from, you know, a lot of people switch just for the fun of it. I don't always know, but you seem to switch and it's beneficial to you, and then when you switch back, it's again beneficial to you. You seem to read your opponents really well, and when that switching works for you.
It's just something I started in the locker, mate, and I'm feeling more and more comfortable now with it. The more we practice and the more I put it into my sparring and stuff. And,
yeah.
You know, you just never know when you're gonna have to rely on it, and it's just a nice option to have. Something that if you need a bit of a change up with it.
But me, you know, I'm a box amateur and everything like that, but I could not go, you know, southpaw. I just couldn't do it. I'd trip up all my own feet. I'd feel clumsy. But I watched you today again, and I watched you numerous occasions over these last few months, and I'm not always sure. I sometimes think switching is a bit of a fad, and I think maybe in 5 or 6 years' time, I don't think we'll see as much of it as we see now. Because for a lot of people, it doesn't always work. You see a lot of fighters
do it for show, don't they?
Well, I don't know what they do.
A lot of lads do it and they don't do anything with it. What's the point in switching to southpaw if you're just going to look at someone, you know what I mean? I think if you can use it to your advantage, it's a great tool to have, and I think that's something that me and Blaine kind of focus on. We're not just going to do it for the sake of doing it. We're going to do it because it's going to give us an edge, or there's shots there, there's openings where we can land shots and stuff. But yeah, mate, it's just me and Blaine. We like working on little things, and we like throwing stuff in, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that is coming together now, and you know, I'm looking forward to Boxer and Sky keeping me busy, and I'll be able to.
Have you got any idea of how busy they're going to try and keep you? Have they said to you, like, look, the first year we're going to give you at least 4 fights? Is that, or are you still going to be able to box on some of the VIP shows to keep you busy if they're not got you planned?
The plan is to keep me busy. I think they've given me 3 fights by March time, but the option is there that.
So that'll be 2 fights, and you'll get a fight just before Christmas. Obviously, October the 16th is your first fight, and then you'll be out again like we all used to do. April, end of February, beginning of March.
And then the option is if there's a little bit of inactivity, or there's a few weeks when or it's just a little bit too long between fights, that we can discuss. We can discuss with Steve, and I can go on and VIP shows.
Do you know Cesar Chavez used to fight little 4-rounders on nothing shows?
Yeah.
You know, just to keep himself active, because inactivity, we found out, is the biggest enemy to any young fighter, isn't it?
Definitely.
Because it's where you do all your learning. So maybe 6-rounders on a VIP show could be beneficial to you as you're progressing through the ranks.
Yeah, definitely. It's something we did discuss when we had the meeting with Steve, and we had a bit of a sit down, and he said they'd be more than happy that if needed, make me return to the small hall circuit, mate.
But you know something, hopefully, that would also make it easier for you to sell those tickets again, because your fan base hopefully would have grown by then. I mean, you've always done well on the tickets anyway, but maybe it becomes a little bit easier, because they'll go, oh, I've seen him on TV.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And it's got even this one. I've not really boxed outside Manchester before as a pro.
No, I suppose, it's nice, isn't it?
A bit like that, thinking, how are we going to go, mate? And
the Geordies, I love you, mate.
That first day when I put the ticket link out, mate, you should have seen people booking hotels like that.
Proper way day, innit, mate?
It's nice, mate. It happens every time you announce a fight. You get a bit taken back, and you think, but yeah, all these people, the way they just drop everything, and we're there coming to watch you, and you can't beat it, mate. It's a great feeling, and that's why I want to give back and put on a show when they come. So mate, it is class, but especially at this time with it being in Newcastle, I think within a few hours of the tickets going live, There was coaches getting bought, there was hotels getting bought, people buying tickets and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a good night, mate. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm well excited, and hopefully we can be down there. I don't know what the format is. I don't know whether we got shows on or not. But the 16th is, I think, free in my diary. So I think that could be a top night out.
Yeah, definitely.
And Savannah, she's defending her world title on there, Savannah Marshall.
Yeah, mate, hopefully one step closer to that Clemessa Shield fight.
And I presume Lewis Ritson will sell the place out.
Yeah,
He'll be looking to get back in the mix of...
It's always a place, mate, you know, when I've watched the shows on the TV.
What you wanted to go to?
Carrying 2 carpets under his arm, talking like me. Yeah, it's always somewhere, you know, you've seen on TV and you thought, wow, I'd fancy that to go and watch. Because you know, with the boxer sometimes you don't really get to go and enjoy yourself. And,
No.
you know, there's not really, oh, I'm going to a show just to go to the show. You know, a lot of times you're supporting your mates or whatever, and it's a different vibe. But you know, that Newcastle's one of the places where the fan base always stands out, and it's somewhere, you know, I've always really liked to.
Well,
I'd like to go box a show.
You had booked at the arena, haven't you, though?
Manchester.
Yeah, once or twice.
Once, mate.
Once,
but I was on.
I know, but hopefully that's something that you could go back there and further up the card.
Yeah,
that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? When it's so like.
It's one of my dreams, mate, since I was a little kid, to box at a sold-out Manchester arena, and yeah, I think with that's another thing. That's another thing when.
You're gonna have to give me a direction, sorry, by the way, because
I know
no
idea where we are.
You know. Well, I know. Do you know where Wham is?
Yeah.
Do you know where it is from Wham?
Further down, yeah.
Further up, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll go to Wham and then we can follow our noses.
Sweet, mate.
Sorry, what you were saying then?
I forgot what I was saying for. Was rudely interrupted there.
It's something that you love me, and if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Teeth and sparklies.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone, they don't know they're false.
You don't be cutting this out.
No, I won't be cutting this out. This is running as it is.
Yeah,
It's going to be a long one, but yeah, if they want to listen, they want to listen. If they don't, they don't. This is for me. This is me. I'm just excited for you, mate.
I'm excited.
And I just wanted to see those little changes that you've done, because you're now at a level whereby, you know, this is the level that you've always dreamed about. And if you're not close to that 100% you, then you could get beat, couldn't you?
Definitely, mate, and I like that. I like that that little fear factor, that little knowing I've got to be on my game here. And I think it brings the best out of me. And I think you've seen that last time.
Yeah.
You know, against Cutler, although it might not have seemed it, you know, like it was billed as a 50-50 fight. I
personally thought
putting it all on the line.
Not that I didn't think you would win, but really, if I was a betting man, I would have had Lee Cutler as a slight betting favourite.
Yeah.
You know.
Lucky you don't bet then, mate. You'd be fucking scared.
I'd never bet against you, mate. But you know what I'm saying. I don't bet anyway. I don't bet. But if I was impartial, and I was looking at that and looking at Box Rec. You know, he had one person I think you had in common was Grant Goodridge, and didn't he stop Grant?
You got him out of there.
Yeah, and obviously he'd had less fights than you, but had a higher percentage of knockouts. He had 7 with 4 KOs. At the time, you were 9 with 3. That's what I was trying to get onto as well. You know, what was it? Was it your 4th, or was it your 5th fight when you got your first stoppage, or was it your 6th?
5th.
And then
4th. Like we were saying the other day, I had them 3.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was flying, and I was you know, sparring great in the gym. I was hurting people in the gym. I was feeling strong, and I thought, this is the one now. This is the one. It's coming.
Yeah.
And Steve went and got me Victor Adaga. If that would have been anyone else in the world, mate, I would have put him away. He not stopping Victor Adaga.
No, he was a nightmare. He was.
But then, yeah, the next one, my 5th was my first stoppage, and then
you had 3 on the bounce, didn't it? 3 on the bounce.
Yeah.
So.
It puberty, mate, started banging.
And then obviously, like you say, we expected you to win against Lee Cutler, but I don't think even we never thought it was going to be that good and that quick. You know, I thought it was going to be at least 3 or 4 rounds before you start getting to him, and maybe a late stoppage or a good points win.
Yeah.
But to blast him out in 1 round, and it was just the combinations that you threw were spectacular, mate. It was, I think it was like a 7, but the first when you put him down, I think it was a left uppercut, and then you followed it with about 6 or 7 clean shots without any of them missing.
Just throwing. Can't remember what.
But what's so good about it is you throw and you don't miss.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that in the sparring that I watched. You throw great combinations, mate, and it doesn't matter whether you're toe to toe with someone or you're at a distance. You're still connecting with great combinations. Hate you. But your opponents do anyway.
Yeah. When I rang Steve afterwards when I got back to the hotel room. He said, "What? Yeah," I said, "I didn't see that coming." He says, it was like watching Tommy Hearns. And I thought, you know what, mate, you know me, Hearns is one of my favourites. I thought, can't get a better compliment than that.
Right now, it's somewhere down here, isn't it?
Down here, just straight down here, mate. Know where we are now.
Right. Well, be careful there. I miss it, right, watch this. I was looking at a bum then. I wasn't, Joe, I wasn't looking. Just glanced past my sight, that's all. Yeah, so this is it, the beginning of the rise of the Rea. Stingray. And you want to explain to people, I know we have explained once before, but it has manifest, hasn't it, transformed, I should say, from a Stingray into a sting of a bee, because we're Manchester.
You know me, mate, I'm a proud Mancunian.
You can't be that proud, you're Sports City, mate.
But yeah, mate, I just thought I had a nice little correlation.
But you've embraced it now, mate.
Yeah, I've embraced it now, and you see what's happening.
It did take a long time though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. You won me over eventually.
Who was it who came up with it? I know I started putting in the videos, but it wasn't.
My mate Max and Callum.
Is that cut out, that one? That recording, yeah.
Oh dear. Oh,
that one,
fucking claiming.
Yeah, well, that one's run out. We've arrived, mate. We've arrived. So, right where at? I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. You getting KFC or what?
I could.
I wish.
I'm allowed to.
I know you are. You can tell.
Back to just being pleasantly plump again, mate. Oh, that's a bugger, that, because that's the one with the sound on, so we probably lost. That's the one that, mind you, that probably got a bit of sound on, but it'll be a bit shitty.
Be alright, mate, we'll work something out.
We got a good 20 odd minutes there before.
We'll work something out. This on?
Yeah, well, as I'm saying, I think this camera's cut off, so it won't be recorded.
Not charged?
Yeah, the battery's run out.
Come on, Lee, you better than that.
Fucking hell, it's red up.
Don't know where you're going, got nowhere you're knowing, driving on the road to nowhere.
Can you sing?
Can I sing?
Yeah, sing. You got a cheeky chick, haven't you?
Yeah. Sing to her all the time. Serenader.
Serenader, yeah. Does she like it?
Loves it. Loves it. Especially when you can sing like me, mate. There's not much I can't do, to be honest. I'm not a very good dancer. If I'm sober.
I know I can't dance. Can't dance even when I'm drunk either. I can't walk when I'm drunk either.
You even have to ask.
You know
you can't dance, mate. You have to look at you. You can tell.
You know, it's been 23 years since I've been properly drunk.
Yeah.
I celebrated my 33rd birthday and I was absolutely right minging mess.
And was that about 100 years ago or something?
It feels like it, mate. It was, what, 23 years ago? So,
I'll take you out, mate.
Where is it?
There on the right, that's the side. Next door to that.
Oh, is that it?
Next door to that.
E-tapes.
We have arrived, touchdown.
What E-tapes there? Oh, is that Cryo? Oh, right, Cryo Lab. Oh, looks good. Yeah, no parking, no. Where are we going to go? Should we go on that park? Can we go on that pub there, do you think?
Don't know.
Let's see what we've got down here. Fucking hell, it's hot, isn't it?
Warm, mate. That's his car.
That's his car? Whoa! Hang on, let's get on there. Oh no, best not.
Bloody hell.
It's nice, isn't it, mate?
Saw me a few more quid in, bloody hell.
Right, let's turn that off.
Yeah.
Right, turn that one off.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.